So welcome to the viewers of Mead Television Network. We have with us today Mr. Stephane Dion. We'd like to welcome him to our studios. He is an academic and he has spoken in many, many countries. He is big on the international scene. From 1996 until 2006, he held 3 ministerial posts, intergovernmental affairs and the environment. And he was also on the, he was the president of the Privy Council. So welcome to our studios, Mr. Dion.
It's my pleasure, Madame Dillon. My great pleasure.
Thank you, thank you. So you feel very strongly about healthcare issues. You've mentioned in the past that the baby boomers are going to be leaving, retiring in a few years. There's a joke that if it's better to have a heart attack in a cab than to have one, at home and wait for the doctors to show up, or we have a lot of healthcare professionals that could become doctors in Canada, but it's very difficult for them. Will the Liberal Party do anything to help ease their way into the medical profession?
We'll not do anything, we'll do everything.
Okay.
Because what you mentioned is a key challenge for Canada. You're right, Madame Dillon. In the coming years, the baby boomers will go to retirement. That means a lot of nurses and doctors will leave.
Right.
And we will have a shortage, and we need to replace them. So 2 things must be done. We need to give the incentive to be sure that the newcomers are well integrated as soon as possible. It's true, it's a provincial jurisdiction because professions are under the watch of the provinces. But we will work very closely with them to make sure that any newcomer coming in Canada, doctor, engineer, and so on, will give their skills and talents to the nation as soon as possible. We cannot afford to have the situation that you just described, where we are underuse the talents, the skills of newcomers coming from everywhere in the world. We have an aging population. We'll have a shortage of professionals in the healthcare and elsewhere, more and more.
Yeah.
This is an issue that we Liberals want to tackle big time.
Okay. And you also have concerns about child poverty. What will the Liberal Party do to combat child poverty?
Yes, we have a strong plan for Canadian families, and every tax credit we give, that is, let's say, for elderlies, or to retrofit your home and to address the issue of social housing, each time it's refundable. That means that if you're too poor to pay taxes, don't worry, the $1,300 we want to give for caregivers, let's say, will be available for you. We'll change the mind where the Conservative created a lot of tax credits, but that are not refundable, so that they cannot benefit for the people too poor to pay taxes. We'll change this mind. But above all, because we are now at 3 days from the election, or a few days for the election, we need to choose the government that will have a strong platform and a feasible one.
Right.
The Conservatives have not a platform that will reach the priorities you just mentioned. They will spend a lot of money in fighter jets that will cost twice the price according to the Americans. They will give tax cuts to the big companies when their tax rate is already 25% below the one of the United States. They will come with a whole of $11 billion. That means they will need to cut in services to the people, including healthcare, including immigration.
Right.
Conservatives, it's a bad plan. The NDP, Mr. Jack Layton, is a man with a nice smile and a man that I like personally. But he said yes to everyone. And he came with a plan of $70 billion of spending over 4 years, when we Liberals will invest only $8 billion with targeted programs for the people that we may afford without raising taxes.
Right.
The NDP will come with $70 billion of spending, and he does not know where we will find the revenue to pay for it. Mr. Layton did not build a plan for a government. He built a plan to get your vote and to convince people to vote for him. But he will be the first one to not know what to do
Right.
if he was elected with it. The only plan that is credible with a leader that is very democratic, Mr. Ignatieff, and a team that has the experience is the Liberal Party of Canada. It's very important to have that in mind for the vote on Monday.
Okay. And can you tell us a little bit about the immigration policies of the Liberal Party?
Well, we just mentioned what we want to do about professions and
Yes.
how much we are committed to that. I may tell you that in my riding in Saint-Laurent-Cartierville, the problem of visas is awful. The Conservative government did not invest the money and the energy to be sure that around the world, when people need to see their family in order for a marriage or when you have a problem in your family, it must be addressed much more rapidly. The reunification of families. How can you integrate here in Canada and to feel fully part of the Canadian family when someone of your family is in your country of origin and in very big trouble? Your mind is there. It's not here. So we need to have a much better system for reunification of families as we had when we were the government. So we will make immigration working for Canadians is an issue that is very at the core of what I want to do as member of Saint-Laurent-Cartierville, where 90% of the people coming to see us, it's about an immigration problem.
Right. And if the Liberals were to form a government, how would the relations change between the U.S. and Canada as opposed to what they are today?
The Americans are an ally for us, not a model. We have our own model, Canada. Yes, we have a friend, United States, but we don't want to import in Canada some mistakes they did. Let's say the way to fight crime. We need to keep the crime rate low, to have secure streets, to be sure that our elderlies, our women, our children are safe. And it's very important for us Canadians. The crime rate in the United States is 5 times higher than in Canada. In California, the recidivism, when people repeat a violent crime. In Canada, the recidivism rate is below 1% for violent crime. In California, it's 20%. 1 out of 5 of a violent criminal will repeat his crime once he's released from jail. So much they don't have rehabilitation system that works. We don't want to import that in Canada. Mr. Harper will do it. He said, I'm tough on crime, but he's making a lot of mistakes, not allowing the police and the judges to do their job properly. And then we will repeat the kind of violent society we see in some states in the United States. He doesn't want to have a gun control system that is so important for Canada. So we don't want that. We need to have the liberal approach to have a safer society. I'm giving you an example where our relationship with the United States must be very, very strong, but we need to keep our own model and to not always try to be a kind of US bis. We are Canada, and we're proud of it.
And you've been a politician for a very long time. You've been doing this for a very long time. What gives you the strength to keep doing it every election?
My convictions, and I have also one passion. My passion is Canada. As you know, I'm a French Canadian. Many French Canadians want to separate from Canada and Quebec. I have a respect for their view, but I think they are wrong. We have a great country, Canada, when you have people coming from everywhere in the world, including South Asia, from India, from Pakistan, from Afghanistan, from everywhere in the world. They come in Canada and they said, I may build something great for my family here. I don't want to miss this opportunity. Every moment you come in Canada, you love this country. So I don't want to see Canada to be split. I don't want Quebec to separate from the rest of the country. I want to send to the world the message that Canada works and they should invent their own Canada. Well, their own institutions and so on, but the same spirit, bringing people from different culture, different religions together to reach what is great in humankind. This is my Canada, it's my passion.
What will you do on the domestic and international scene with regards to pollution and the environment in general?
I'm very proud of the Liberal platform about the environment. It's true that the campaign focused more on the immediate problems of Canadian families because we have a world recession, a slowdown of the economy. But you need to have a leader and a party that have a long vision, the long-term vision for the environment and our reconciliation with the planet on which we are. So we are very strong in this platform about regulation for clean air, strong investment for clean water, and for the Great Lakes and the St. Lawrence River. We invest in it. Strong investment in renewable energy to have clean sources of energy. Addressing the problem of the oil patch, and we don't want to have the problems they have in the Gulf of Mexico about that. The oil sands must have stronger regulation. We need to protect our natural environment and to have more parks and natural environment more protected. This is our plan. In the Conservative plan, if you read the Conservative platform, not a word about the environment. The word is not there. It's a shame. They should lose the election only because of that. The NDP platform seems very generous about the environment. They are, though, pretending they will find $21.5 billion through a cap-and-trade system to put a cap on greenhouse gas emissions. When the question came to Mr. Layton, where you will find this 20.5%, $21.5 billion of dollars from a cap-and-trade system? He didn't know, because around the world, the cap-and-trade system is to cap the emissions of greenhouse gases. It's not to make money. So it's monopoly money. The NDP will not be able to deliver it. The Conservatives don't want to deliver it. If you want to have a cleaner environment and to see Canada to play its role to fight climate change around the world, we need a Liberal government.
Yeah, okay. And in the past also, you've mentioned when the troops were sent to Afghanistan that Canada should withdraw its troops with honor. Do you have anything to say vis-a-vis this issue?
It's what will happen.
Okay.
It's what will happen. We'll stay in Afghanistan for development, for training, but the combat mission will be over.
Okay.
We did our share to provide more security in Afghanistan and to fight the terrorists, the Al-Qaeda, the Taliban. But now we need to focus on development. We need to focus on training. It's what our brave men and women will do in Afghanistan.
Okay. And since the Conservative government has been in power, the economy, do you have anything to maybe say about that?
Yes, I have something to say. I'm speaking on a network where every Canadian may watch, but especially Canadian of South Asian origin. You know, when you're coming from Pakistan and India, that we Canadians will face quite a competition. More and more, you have engineers, you have people with computer skills, you have well-trained people around the world from countries that were too poor in the past to be in the world competition, that now bringing to you thousands and thousands of people that may match the skills that we have here in Canada. If we want to keep our standard of living and to improve it, we need to be sure that our youth will be ready for this competition. We need to have the top quality universities. We need to. In the Liberal plan, we have a plan for that. We have a plan, for example, to give $1,000 per year per student to help them to pay the tuition fees. If you don't invest in education and a post-secondary education especially, Canada will not be able to face the competition of the world, and no one more than a Canadian of South Asian origin knows that. You know it, so look at the Liberal platform and vote Liberal for the future of your children.
Okay. And do you think the Liberals will win this election?
I have a strong faith and confidence in the Liberal Party of Canada, and we'll see the result. We will accept it because we are Democrats. But between now and Monday night, we need to convince people.
Right.
Get out, vote, cast your ballot. You have people around the world risking their life to have the right to vote. You know that when you come from another country, how much it's maybe dangerous in some countries to get out of your home and to vote freely. In Canada, it's not dangerous. No, you just take the time to do it. It's fun. You may meet friends. So vote. The turnout is awfully low in Canada. Last time, 40% of people did not take the time to vote. young people out of 3 did not vote. It's too bad. I want people to vote and hopefully to vote Liberal.
Right. Why do you think the Liberals were not able to come into a sweeping victory the last 2 elections?
Oh, I think we came with a plan where we wanted to bring the environment and the economy together. It was called the Green Shift.
Right.
And Mr. Harper has been better than us to describe it as a tax on everything, and people were afraid of it. I think it was a great plan, but we failed to convince Canadians, and then the result was disappointing.
Yeah. And what do you think about the attack ads, the personal attacks on the Liberals?
I would say that I'm against that. I don't like it. Unfortunately, it worked with Mr. Harper. He came with very bad attack ads against me when I was the leader,
Yes.
against Mr. Ignatieff now.
Yes.
I don't want that to be repeated again. I hope people will see that Mr. Ignatieff came with a very strong campaign as a Democrat, accepting all the questions of everyone when Mr. Harper is trying to protect himself.
Right.
And to allow only 5 questions. He will not be here with you. We want to be available. We want to be transparent. We want to be close to the people.
Yes.
Mr. Ignatieff had a campaign showing that. So it's an issue about the orientation of the country, this election.
Right.
Will we have an orientation that is both desirable
Right.
and responsible?
Right.
And this is the Liberal one. But it's also a campaign about the style of democracy we want to have.
Right.
A very secretive one,
Yes.
manipulative one, like
Yeah.
the one with Mr. Harper, or open mind, transparent, with a lot of tolerance for the different views, pluralistic, like the one of Mr. Ignatieff.
Right. And when you're reelected, what personally would you like to see change, or what would you lobby for to change, fight for?
My own priority will be to pull together all the skills and talents of this great country, that nobody will be left behind, nobody will be excluded. I was yesterday as a debate about Aboriginal Canadians. The youngest population in Canada, their average age is 27 years old, when the average of the whole Canadian population is 40 years old.
Right.
We have all these youth. Why we don't welcome them more, as we should welcome more the newcomers,
Right.
and to have their talents and skills bring together in order to face the terrible challenges of the world, of this economy that is very competitive, this environment or relationship with the planet that is at stake. The world needs Canada. The world needs Canada, and Canada needs its youth.